United looking to get forward, and there's appeals for handball there against Naby Keita, which are not given. Milner just tucks it back. It's swept upfield by Robertson towards the halfway line. Luke Shaw heads it away. Now it's Trent Alexander-Arnold, cut out by Fred. It goes out of play. What sort of game are you expecting, Paul?
Well, already the game seems quite open. It's Liverpool who are definitely the team that are taking on the ball more than Liverpool. Every time Liverpool have miscontrolled it, Manchester United have virtually just whacked it out of play. A little bit anxious at the moment in time, Manchester United, but they do need to get hold of the ball and try and keep it a little, well, just keep it. I was about to say a little bit longer, but they haven't had it yet.
No, they haven't. Hoofed forward by De Gea. Ronaldo gets his first touch. It's a header infield, but Liverpool stick it out of play. It'll be a throw-in for United just inside their own half. Luke Shaw, United on a poor run. They haven't won in 3 Premier League games, beaten at Leicester last time out, held by Everton here, and of course beaten by Aston Villa here as well. Liverpool, by contrast, are looking to extend an extraordinary unbeaten run, which goes back 18 games. They got more points away from home than at home last season, Liverpool. Here comes Ronaldo, though, infield. This is a real chance. It's Bruno Fernandes, and he's wasted it. Glorious opportunity for Manchester United, who worked it across from left to right. It was Ronaldo initially. It was helped on by Mason Greenwood, and Bruno Fernandes could have struck it first time, took a touch, and he's hit it horribly wide. Great chance.
I'm just surprised he never took it first time, to be perfectly honest. I've seen him take on more difficult shots first time than that one there. He takes it first time, and the defender doesn't get anywhere near it, and it might have been a bigger issue for the keeper. But that's come about off of that, what I said about that side where Trent Alexander is. That's where it is. Rashford's out there, and he could exploit Trent Alexander's failing as a defender.
It's encouraging, though, for United, isn't it, that you highlighted that, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has as well, and but for a better finish they would be leading.
They would be, which would be absolutely incredible, because they've done nothing to suggest they were going to get anywhere near the box at the moment in time. And it is going to be a little bit like that. It's going to be counter-attacks more than anything, judging by the game at this moment in time.
Well, first real threat from United as Van Dijk pushes it back to Alisson. Alisson, of course, was missing from the last game against Watford due to his extended international duty. The ball is forward to Salah, who looks suspiciously offside, but here's Keita, and he's scored, and Liverpool, with their first attack, have put the ball into the United net. It might be checked because Salah looked as if he might have been a yard offside, but he's played in Naby Keita, whose finish was calm and composed, and within 5 minutes Liverpool have the lead. And Keita, who scored in the Champions League in midweek, has done so again, and I think Salah is onside.
Well, the problem with that one, John, is that it's Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw has not stepped up with his centre half. He has hung behind. He's been a little bit lazy, maybe a little bit in awe of who's around him, so he's panicked and dropped back, and he couldn't deal with it. And Keita has come from nowhere. He's overloaded on that side of the park, and Luke Shaw has been absolutely exposed for naivety.
Well, what a start to this game. Bruno Fernandes wasting a glorious opportunity for Manchester United. Liverpool with their first attack of the game. Salah, who's been a constant source of goals in terms of scoring, hasn't been half bad as a provider either, and it was a lovely through ball by him. He looked offside to the naked eye, he clearly wasn't, and the Liverpool fans who've been lucky enough to get tickets for Old Trafford are celebrating in their corner of the ground because they've drawn first blood. Naby Keita with his 3rd goal of the season, his 2nd in the Premier League. He was on target against Palace, and here he comes again, and it might be a chance for Firmino, and it's saved by De Gea, and then hits the referee, who's going to stop the game on the edge of the box. But United are being carved apart, and Naby Keita once again was in the thick of it, and it took a very good save from David De Gea to prevent Roberto Firmino making it 2-0.
Well, that was about Scott McTominay's shocking ball he's tried to give him midfield. He should have kept possession, or he should have looked longer just to change it up. And Liverpool's counter-attacking offered him mistakes in deep areas in that Manchester United defence is incredible. The pace they attack at Keita, you can see why they brought him into it. He can just win the ball and then straight away he explodes into space, and there's so much space in that midfield area. And we have to remember, United are supposed to be playing with two holding midfield players.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're holding on to. As far as I'm concerned, they must be holding onto the back of race cars, because they're not on the pitch at the moment.
They're holding on to their places in the team, but you do sometimes wonder why. You're quite right. I mean, it was the defending of United has been not quite shambolic, but pretty dreadful in the opening 7 minutes. It's now 10 games in all competitions since United kept a clean sheet. That's the worst run ever that the club has gone. I mean, that tells its own story. They just cannot keep clean sheets. That said, their recent reputation has been built on going behind and coming back. They did it in the Champions League on Wednesday night, and they're going to have to do it again. But it's bizarre, and they do seem to do it, but it's not a blueprint for success, is it? Here's Fernandes, though, as they look to strike back. Wan-Bissaka wearing gloves on a not particularly chilly Manchester day. Here's McTominay. And ball is lost in midfield. It comes off Rashford, and suddenly Mo Salah is on his way. It's Salah gliding forward. He's bundled over, but Anthony Taylor saw nothing wrong with that challenge, and he was well placed. And United counter. This is a thrilling game. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo. Can he have an early impact? He's been blocked and tackled there by Ibrahima Konate. That'll please him enormously. Salah again is on the rampage at the other end. He's got Jota in the middle. Mo Salah shoots, goes for the near post, and uncharacteristically for him gets it all wrong, really. He screwed it beyond the post, but my goodness me, what a breathless opening 9 minutes we've had.
It certainly has been, and to be honest, he was offside, I think, initially from that one. Maybe that's the reason why he done what he done, but that ball was taken off Ronaldo far too easily. He's looking for a foul on the floor. Just get up and just get the ball back and then argue. That's what I would say to someone like Ronaldo. Harry Maguire's trying to speak on his behalf, but they've got it all wrong at the moment. They're breaking forward like a team. It's like a school game at the moment in time. You know, it's like a rush forward, lose the ball, and you leave everything open at the back. If I'm David De Gea, I'd walk off. I'd go and strike. I want help. I need people around me to organise.
Yeah. Well, actually, we've just seen a replay of the goal, and Salah's movement is incredible. He actually looks offside, but isn't, because he's timed it so well. And I'm convinced the United defenders probably thought he was off. But a fantastic piece of movement. Wild swing forward by Mason Greenwood is gathered by Alisson. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's off his seat already as United come forward. This is Rashford. Rashford shoots, and it's not far away. Good effort from Marcus Rashford, who will celebrate his 24th birthday a week today. He drove forward and he struck it low. Alisson, I think, had it covered, and it just whistled past the post.
Yeah, again, that was just another kind of counter-attack off a poor pass by Keita, given away quite cheaply, and he's just rebounded, but he had to shoot from that distance because there was nothing else in front of him.
Here's Jota. It's absolutely a game you can't take your eyes off at the moment. You can do now because the ball's gone out of play. Don't forget you can talk to us via Twitter at TalkSport Live. We'll read out the best ones. Carol is with us as ever in Florida, enjoying a midday brunch. Thanks for the commentary. Should be a cracker. I know you're a City fan, aren't you? So you're probably happy that United are behind. Enjoy the bacon and pancakes and blueberries over there in Florida. Here's Salah again. But he's not just a scorer, he's a provider as well. And we mentioned probably he's the world's best player at the moment. And that assist was an excellent one for Naby Keita, who took his goal really well. Eden Hazard. I know it's rare for a Chelsea fan to ask for a favour from Manchester United, but would you please at least draw with Liverpool? Kind regards, that's Joe from Massachusetts. Well, yeah, Chelsea will stay top whatever happens, but obviously That tells you that Chelsea fans are far more worried about what Liverpool are going to do than what Manchester United are going to do at the moment, and understandably so. Long ball forward by Mason Greenwood. It's headed away by Van Dijk. McTominay and Fred combine to hoof the ball up towards Rashford, who's chasing the ball, but Alisson plays it expertly out of the area to James Milner. Here's Jordan Henderson. Salah is out wide on the right hand side. This is Alexander-Arnold, and the game has finally calmed down, really. 12 minutes into it, we had end-to-end stuff, a goal early. Here's Henderson driving through midfield. Salah with a lovely little touch away to Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side. He drifts in from that flank and finds Jota. Jota to Milner. Milner to Robertson. Good football by Liverpool, but spoilt rather by Robertson's through ball, which is intercepted by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And it's a throw into Liverpool, which they take quickly. Here's Roberto Firmino, who extraordinarily has seen all of his last 12 goals for Liverpool, including the 3 at Watford, come away from home. Ball clipped forward towards Jota. Maguire gets in a bit of a tangle. Naby Keita wins the ball. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's a tap in for Jota, and it's 2-0 Liverpool. And that all started with an error by Harry Maguire on the edge of his own penalty area. Keita, who got the first goal, won the ball, found Trent Alexander-Arnold. His ball across goal, and Diogo Jota was quicker to react than anyone else, has jabbed the ball into the roof of the net, and after 13 minutes it's Manchester United 0, Liverpool 2.
That is absolutely shocking, that was. I don't know what Luke Shaw is doing. Maguire wasn't in the best position. He's had to turn his back to swing round to get his right foot round when he should use his left foot, and Luke Shaw has overcovered. I really don't know what is going on there. All you got to do is talk to people, tell them where you are, or if anything, say nothing, stay away, or if you can, or just shout, your ball, Harry, your ball, deal with it. And they haven't done it. Lack of communication. 2-0 down, deserve to be 2-0 down.
Yeah, they do. That was horrendous defending. It really was. Harry Maguire is a defender who's played in a European Championship final not so long ago. Luke Shaw was there as well, and the two of them just got in such a mess. I think possibly, you're right, I was a little harsh on Maguire. It was, I think, Shaw's presence that unnerved him, and between the pair of them they just gifted possession to Liverpool, who were then immediately ruthless. So suddenly Old Trafford is pretty quiet, apart from a small section of Scousers who've made the short trip along the M62. They used to call it the East Lancs Road. It is a derby of sorts, both teams Lancashire based. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Cristiano Ronaldo, who's hardly been in the game, picks up the ball, plays it forward to Rashford. Rashford inside the area, no support for him at all, and he's run the ball straight into Jordan Henderson, who gets it away, and Konate will clear for Liverpool, and flick on by Jota. Diogo Jota has got his fourth goal of the season, and his fourth goal against Manchester United. He scored the last time these two teams met towards the end of last season here, when Liverpool won 4-2, and he's on target again. He's also scored a couple for Wolves in the past, I think, against United also. So he's been a thorn in their sides.
What a great signing he's been as well.
Yeah, he has. Absolutely.
Cheap, really, really cheap for an all-round player. Someone who's not guaranteed a place at the moment in time. But I just had that feeling he's always going to score goals. He's always going to be in and around. His movement is so good. I don't know if he's a wide player or a central player. I really don't know. But I saw him play for Wolves in the Championship on quite a few times, and he was absolutely incredible as a wide left player.
Great tweet here from Sternabil. It says, amazing to hear the commentary on the best player in the world. Cristiano Ronaldo must be really enjoying the opportunity to compete against the number one. And that's been captioned with a picture of Mohamed Salah. Manchester United have a corner and an opportunity to get something back in the game. Luke Shaw with an outswinger. Up goes Maguire. McTominay's there, tries to shoot, and the ball just wouldn't sit down for him, and his left foot volley has gone over the bar. But they need to get something sooner rather than later, don't they, Manchester United, or the game's going to get away from them. I don't know why. but we're being shown a graphic that proves that Diogo Jota was onside when he converted that. I mean, VAR didn't do anything, and it was a perfectly obvious goal that didn't need to be scrutinised, but people seem to like drawing lines across the screen these days. Absolutely no point in that. The game's been played for 3 minutes since it went in.
They're trying to remain relevant.
That's about as irrelevant as it gets, Paul.
The thing I like, I'm watching Milner and Henderson, players like two holding players with Keita in there, who's not an attacking player of sorts. He's got a change of pace compared to the other two, but they're playing it, and they're playing his holding roles with ball retention. Manchester United play it with players who run around like Sonic the Hedgehogs without achieving anything.
DC is with us. He says, please wish my son Zach an early 10th birthday. Hoping for a Manchester United win to help City solidify second place. Nice picture of Josh there with his dog. Happy birthday to you, my man. It was my daughter's 20th birthday yesterday, and my elder daughter's birthday is October the 31st, same as Marcus Rashford. Here's a ball forward which goes out of play, almost 18 minutes gone. JSS3, that's Arman Muntala, says, where did we go wrong with buying Maguire? What is the problem? It's clearly a problem that Maguire, he's made a few mistakes lately, hasn't he? Although I think, to be fair, they've made another mistake here. It's Firmino trying to get Keita in. United are absolutely shambolic. I'm going to use the word shambolic now at the back, because they've done it time and time again. They just don't look secure, do they? And against a team like Liverpool, I mean, you're going to end up on the back end of a hiding if you defend like that against this lot. But here's Greenwood. It was a useful looking ball towards Rashford. Fernandes, Ronaldo. Well, even he's off par at the moment. He scooped it with his right foot way over the crossbar. But back to the defending, Paul. I mean, they're going to be in the end of an embarrassing scoreline if they don't do something at the back, because it's shocking.
It is shocking. I do not know what Lindelof's thinking. If in doubt, you just kick it out, and then you start questioning people while the ball's out of play. Don't play a ball into the middle of the goal on the edge of the box, looking for Fred of all people to give it to him with someone right up behind him. That could have been 3-0. It maybe should have been 3-0. It's just absolutely shocking at this moment in time, and a game of this magnitude, and there's players out there who now don't want to be there, to be perfectly honest. Luke Shaw, in theory, I don't think anyone knows he's out there, because he's playing the role of an invisible man. Marcus Rashford has had one shot, because there was no one around him. He got caught in a cul-de-sac. He ran into a cul-de-sac, I should say, and what he needs really for him is to go across and occupy Alexander-Arnold. Stop him going forward. He's meant to be playing left-hand side. Occupy him, stop the ball getting to him, or stand on his toes, but it's not. Luke Shaw has been double teamed. He's got Keita up against him, and if it's not Keita, it's Alexander-Arnold, and more importantly, he's got Mo Salah there as well. He's not dealing with it well at all.
There is a break in play, because Naby Keita has picked up a bang on his calf and is hobbling slightly. I think he's going to be okay. Both teams have had 4 attempts on target. The difference is that 3 of Liverpool's have been on target and none of Manchester United's have. United's problems really lie at the back at the moment. Here's Shaw, and he finds Ronaldo. What must he be thinking? It hasn't exactly been a dream for him. He's got 6 goals in the previous 8 games, but the results haven't been what he would have hoped for or expected when he joined Manchester United. Rick Kitch is with us, getting some yard work done in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, and enjoying the commentary and enjoying Liverpool dominating the match. Keep the tweets coming. 21 minutes almost have gone. It's been a nightmare for Manchester United. Fell behind on 5 minutes to Naby Keita's well-taken goal, and it was followed by a tap-in from Diogo Jota, who's in the side for Sadio Mane today. Here's Rashford, though, who's scored on both of his appearances so far this season, having recovered from injury. Fred now to McTominay. McTominay clips it to Ronaldo, who finds Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka edge of the box to McTominay again. Liverpool have got plenty back. Square it goes to Fred. And now Shaw. United fans a little impatient with this build-up. Shaw's cross is headed away very comfortably by Konate. Back it comes though from McTominay. Ronaldo with the touch. Now Greenwood. McTominay again away towards Bruno Fernandes on the far side of the field. Can he produce a devastating ball? He plays a square one to McTominay, and United are booing because they're just not getting anywhere. Liverpool are just happy to sit there and keep the shape, and United can't get the ball into the final third. They might do here with Shaw. He's going to shoot, and he's not far away actually. Decent effort off the left foot. Last goal, of course, came in the Champions of Europe final against Italy, and that one off target, but not by a huge amount.
If you're Liverpool, and if more importantly, if you're Jurgen Klopp, you're saying to your team, well defended, because what you've done is you forced the team to have a shot from 25 plus yards away. It has to be a hell of a shot with it wide open for him to score. He would say, past my goalkeeper. Alisson could see that ball all the way, so in theory he should be able to deal with it. He would call that good defending.
Yeah, it was good defending en masse as a block. Yeah, definitely. We're at the midway point in the first half. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 2. Liverpool looking as if they're going to extend their unbeaten run to a 19th match, and more importantly, get pretty close to the leaders, Chelsea. That's a decent ball forward by Fred, but it's just taken away from Rashford by an interception from Konate. He's done pretty well, hasn't he, the tall Frenchman, who was a surprise inclusion from the start at the expense of Joel Matip.
What a stature he's got as well, by the way.
Yeah, he's a big lad, isn't he?
He is, yes.
He looks comfortable on the ball as well, and his defending's been good. Here's Firmino finding Salah. Back to Firmino, trying to get the better of Harry Maguire. Flicks it back to Salah again. Edge of the area, edge of the pitch, I should say, on the far side. Now it's Jordan Henderson in centre midfield. He finds Van Dijk, and now it's Robertson. Milner will tuck in and pick it up now. Milner, who's as I say, played in more of these games than anything. A slight mistake there by Liverpool, and Ronaldo is on his way. Looks to clip the ball. It's a header away again by Konate, who's done well. McTominay nods it towards Rashford, but forces him to run back towards the touchline to get possession. McTominay once more. Here's Shaw. Left foot chip ball, not a good one. Jota will clear for Liverpool. And once again, it's a familiar pattern. United trying to get some sort of decent delivery, and that isn't it at all from Rashford over on the far side, and Alisson collects, and the whistle's blown. I think there was another Liverpool player's gone down. It's James Milner, and he's shaking his head. He's 36 in January, James Milner. As I mentioned, it's 38th time he's played Manchester United. Scored 4 goals in that time for them, but he doesn't look comfortable. I must say, I didn't see what happened. He was chasing back during the initial error, and it looks as if his race is run, because Curtis Jones, who himself has missed a couple of games through injury but is now fit, looks as if he's going to come on in place of James Milner. Yeah, he stumbled and stuttered.
It's a hamstring. It wouldn't surprise me.
Hamstring?
Wouldn't surprise
maybe his
me.
ankle, yeah. It doesn't look like a really, really bad injury, but it gives Jurgen Klopp the chance to have a little chat with his captain, Jordan Henderson, who's having a swig of water from a bottle there. Nesta Kobe Odoi. Manchester United need to remix their anthem, because we haven't been seeing the glory in a long while. That's glory, glory, Man United, in case you didn't know. Not much glory, Man United, at the moment, as we look at the replays of the 2 goals. The second one is just horrendous defending. Go on.
The thing about it, John, is as that ball's played in behind Harry Maguire is facing his own goal. He's about to try and flick it on the outside of his foot, out wide, not knowing what's out wide, because he's got his back to the whole of the pitch. So his starting position was rubbish. It was a poor starting position, because he couldn't see man and ball. He could only see David De Gea and the ball. So he started wrong. Luke Shaw's got sucked in. That was wrong as well. It was both of them at fault, starting with one, ending with the other.
Milner is off and Curtis Jones is on. I mean, if anything, that's maybe going to give Manchester United a few more headaches. No disrespect to James Milner, but at 35 he employed primarily as a a defensive midfield foil alongside Jordan Henderson. Curtis Jones is a more attack-minded player. As I mentioned, he's missed a couple of games through injury, but you know, he's I would say more creative player potentially than James Milner.
I would say that what he is, Curtis Jones, is he's actually a midfield player. Don't put a sign on his head saying he's a defensive midfield player.
No, he's not. That's
or
what
an
I mean,
attacker.
yeah.
So he is a midfield player.
He's adaptable.
He's adaptable, as midfield players used to be at one point, rather than being put out
pigeonholed.
there. Yeah, pigeonholed as that. And he's a very good player.
Here's Mason Greenwood for Manchester United, edge of the penalty area, but forced to go back by Curtis Jones, who demonstrates just how adaptable he is there with some good defensive work. Rashford to Fernandes, far side, good block by Naby Keita. Rashford has to sprint back and clip it back to Harry Maguire, who plays a good ball into Fernandes again, hugging that far touchline and finding Marcus Rashford wearing bright yellow boots today, as is Fred. Here's Scott McTominay, centre midfield for United. Fred gets it forward. Here's Rashford. It's taken off his toes by Naby Keita, who manages to toe poke it back to his goalkeeper. Chris Doran has given us a picture of him listening while driving up the East Coast. That must be a pleasant experience. Hello to you. Here's Fred back to Maguire. 28 minutes have been played at Old Trafford. The home crowd, who were very, very noisy when the game kicked off, are rather quieter now. Nothing they like less than losing to Liverpool, but they're having to get used to it these days. Here's Rashford, though. They need a goal to get themselves back in it somehow, but Rashford can't find the right pass. Cleared by Henderson. Rashford again just turns, or tries to turn, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Arnold stands up well, though, and it's come into McTominay in centre midfield. This has been the pattern of the last 5 minutes, hasn't it? United, plenty of possession, but no forward momentum. It's Fernandes finding Greenwood, edge of the penalty area. He shoots, and it's palmed away by Alisson for a corner. It didn't look as if it was a terribly threatening shot, but the keeper decided to push it behind rather than try and catch it, and United will have a corner kick.
At least it was something positive from Mason Greenwood. The ball goes into him, he manages to turn when he should never have been allowed to. He was just on the corner of the box, the right hand side, and it was looked like me going wide.
Here's the corner, strong header away by Firmino, and then given away by Lindelof. Naby Keita goes down. Get up, says Anthony Taylor, and play on, he says, which Manchester United do. Here's Lindelof finding Shaw, and Shaw's given it away, and it's Jota, and suddenly Liverpool are on the front foot again. Diogo Jota coming through midfield, finds Curtis Jones in a little bit of space inside the centre circle, just inside the United half. Henderson plays a short ball back to Van Dijk, and Liverpool, I think, sense there might be a sort of cut and thrust counter on, but they've calmed it down a little bit now. Here's Naby Keita into Firmino. Firmino's got Salah darting in front of him, but he's had to go back, and he finds Jota, and Jota gets to the edge of the box, and he finds Trent Alexander-Arnold. There's the cross, and it's scuffed by Fred rather than cleared, headed away by McTominay, and now it's Keita, and Henderson shoots and in the end puts it wide. The difference I'm noticing here, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, is that Manchester United are spending hours and hours knocking the ball around and getting nowhere, and every time Liverpool get anywhere near the United box, there's some sort of pressure on the 6-yard area.
Yeah, because they've got players who, when they do pass, they pass with progress. They're looking for progress every time they pass, not passing for the sake of passing, and that's what United do. That's been their problem for a few years now, and it hasn't improved. That's why the likes of Ronaldo is not getting any opportunities.
There was a deflection. It's a corner from Alexander-Arnold, which is headed away by Maguire. Naby Keita knocks it back, and Firmino was there on the far post. It was a difficult one. It came at him very, very fast indeed, and he just couldn't quite get the right touch with his right foot. But again, Manchester United were found wanting defensively. Harry Maguire would have played him onside, wouldn't he?
Oh, do you know what?
Didn't retreat, Maguire.
John,
didn't advance,
I'm here spitting feathers because I look at Harry Maguire and he wants to moan because it got missed by Firmino, but he played him on.
Here's a disappointing ball by Mason Greenwood, cut out by Trent Alexander-Arnold. He finds Keita. Liverpool are comprehensively the better team. 31 minutes played as Firmino can't quite find Salah. This time Maguire does do his job well and gets a foot in and makes the interception. This is Rashford. What's he done there? Marcus Rashford. Here's Salah, tight angle, and De Gea rescues him. What on earth was Marcus Rashford doing there? He was inside the Liverpool half and he played it back down the line some 30 yards without looking, and Salah is onto it. Difficult angle for him, found the shot, and De Gea has spared Marcus Rashford, gifting Liverpool a third.
That is almost reminiscent of I'm trying to think who it was during the Euros. It was, and I'm trying to think who just done that. Someone done Raheem Sterling.
For England,
yeah, Raheem Sterling did that against Germany and gave the ball to Thomas Müller.
That's right. Yes, he did. Yeah. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's a great ball in towards Jota, and fair play to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who got across to cover. And United fans are trying to lift their team 13 minutes before half-time, but they look a sorry outfit, they really do. Ronaldo's barely had a touch. That's a terrible clearance now by De Gea. And they've invited Liverpool back on, and here's Keita, but the referee has spotted an infringement. I like the inherent sarcasm within this tweet from Nimale. United being shambolic is just amusing. Ole is doing a fantastic job with his sidekick, Harry Maguire. And Iridian Theophilus also uses the word shambolic. A shambolic 25 minutes at Old Trafford. It's just that bad. Harry Maguire still at the heart of the problem. As I'm a Chelsea fan and love seeing United lose, this is just too much. It's too much in a good way. But yeah, I mean, even Chelsea fans almost feeling sympathy for United initially there. But I mean, shambolic is not too strong a word, really, is it?
No, it's not. Not at all. It's just this has been as bad as I've ever seen it. I mean, United have struggled recently against Liverpool and have had to play in a certain way of more about survival to stay in games. But this is just the fact of they've been absolutely embarrassed just on the art of attacking football more than anything.
Yeah. Here's Ronaldo, who knows more about that than most. Finds Greenwood. That's a good ball by Greenwood into Fernandes. Fernandes tries to find Ronaldo, who can't get a touch. But that was much better from Manchester United. That was the most purposeful passage of play we've seen for them, I think, in the game.
Yeah, it's just about, they're just getting the ball wide more than anything. They're trying to look for Ronaldo. In the end of the day, you've got to look at what your strengths are. And United's strength at the moment is finding Ronaldo in the box. And if that's what it's got to be that way. But they have to stick to it.
It was a vital touch, actually, by Robertson to take it away from Ronaldo. United have a corner. Shaw with the in-swinger, half cleared by Liverpool. It's not away yet. Maguire, and then Greenwood's taking it away from Rashford. Rashford's not happy about that because he was going to volley it and might well have scored, and Greenwood flew in and took the ball away from him inadvertently.
He did. It was just, again, it was a mess in the attacking box as what it's been in the defending box as well. And just seeing so many players off. And
probably offside.
May have been close, but I don't know what Luke Shaw was thinking at the end there. He's just, if he just kept his composure, he might have been able to keep possession, but I think the thought in his mind was, I'm going to go in there and whack as hard as I can, and while I'm there, I'm going to try and hurt Keita as well while I follow through. And Keita just stepped aside and said, go on.
Nick Falco likes your quote. He's quoted it, Paul. United have two holding defenders. What are they holding? Well, they'll be holding an inquiry, I would think, at half-time, won't they? Here's Mason Greenwood. That's a good ball infield to Fred, one of those two. Again, Henderson was there just to take it away from his England colleague, Marcus Rashford. Here's Keita for Liverpool. And interception, though, by McTominay. Here's Rashford. He's found Fernandes. This is encouraging. It's not a good ball by Fernandes to Ronaldo. He still managed to get possession, Ronaldo, but it was played a little bit behind him, and he's forced to go backwards, which is a shame from United's point of view. It's over the top from Fernandes to Rashford. He almost took the shot too early. He went for the volley, and it came off his toe, and as a result there was very little power in it, and it just dribbled really into the gloves of Alisson.
What a fantastic ball that was by Fernandes. And Rashford, it's gone over the top, over his right shoulder, and he should have hit it with his left foot. He's tried to go with the volley it on the outside of his right foot. I'm sorry, I don't think he's got that in his locker to do that. He should have just made good contact with his left foot, aiming to hit the target.
There's Jordan Henderson for Liverpool, centre midfield. A little flurry from United, but Liverpool have weathered that pretty comfortably, and they're now looking to create some more mayhem at the other end. Robertson, though, back to Konate, who has had a very assured third appearance for Liverpool, formerly of Sochaux in France and Leipzig in Germany.
The thing about it as well, he's come into this game and he looks like he's been there at least a season.
He does.
In a game like this, he looks like when he should have been worked a little bit to find him out.
Yeah, it's been too comfortable, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Here's Curtis Jones, the Liverpool sub, finding Jordan Henderson. Now it's Henderson just sizing his options up. He's gone back to Konate, who finds Alexander-Arnold. Henderson moves into some space in midfield and finds Firmino. It's far too easy for Liverpool, isn't it? They're just finding gaps and knocking the ball at will. There's a through ball towards Salah. That was well played by Lindelof, but again it's a hoof up field. He made the interception and then just decided to get rid. Here's Firmino again, finding Henderson. Now Keita, back to Firmino once more. Now Salah, little back heel into Firmino. This is wonderful football from Liverpool. Salah can't quite finish it. Keita might. Salah! 3-0! He scored again! 10 consecutive matches for Mo Salah, and given that it's against Manchester United, that particular goal will probably mean more than most. And I tell you what, that is an absolutely fabulous team goal, and when you string pass after pass after pass together, the one man you want on the end of it is Mohamed Salah, and he has buried the ball into the net, and it is Manchester United 0, Liverpool 3.
Well, the ridiculous thing about it is that he's played the ball through and it's got blocked, and someone's had a shot. I can't see who's actually initially has the shot. It was him who has the shot, Salah I should say, and he's gone out wide to Keita, and he's just spun. As he's had the shot, he has spun, and he is the first man to the ball, when in theory he was the fifth person behind that ball. The other four were Manchester United defenders. Not one of them beat him to that ball. That's called an appetite, by the way. That is someone who is so selfish to score goals, and he is still a team player because he gave Keita a goal when he could have took it on himself.
Yes, and he's now the outright top scorer in the Premier League with 8. Jamie Vardy didn't score for Leicester earlier, so he's overtaken him. What he's also done with that goal, Mo Salah, he's become the first Liverpool player ever to score in 3 consecutive league games at Old Trafford. He's now scored 5 career goals against United, and well, 2-0 is bad enough, but 3-0 6 minutes down before half time is calamitous, to say the least. And I mean, the scoreline, it just doesn't lie, does it? What's happening now, I think, is that Liverpool are now so far above Manchester United in terms of the way they play that it's almost like watching Liverpool play, you know, pardon the expression, a humdrum mid-table Premier League team, not a team who've won the title 20 times.
Well, at the moment in time, United's form, that's offside.
Oh, here's yes, he's miles offside.
United's
Ronaldo.
form has been about a mid-table team, to be perfectly honest. That's the form's been that way. I keep saying it, and people keep shooting me down. You can't go into games of this magnitude off the back of poor performances. It just doesn't work. No confidence is inbuilt with the players. None of these players went onto that pitch today believing they could beat Liverpool. No. That would have been impossible. If anyone did, one player might do it, Ronaldo, but he's inbuilt himself to actually analyse himself and tell himself and focus positive. But I think he knows himself he'd have been lying to himself.
Very angry Manchester United fan has tweeted, Benjamin Frimpong, I've always said Manchester United have no manager, they're playing without any formation. What is this club legend agenda all about? A shambolic and stupid performance every game. How on earth is Ole still United manager? That's from obviously a United fan who is utterly dispirited.
It's going to get worse now. This is going to be.
If they get 5 or 6, I mean, and they could, it really will be a total embarrassment.
It will be. I mean, to be honest, everyone. I turned around and said, in that European game, everyone's talking about they've done this and that. I said, you can't keep doing it. That game was irrelevant, that game in Europe, because Atalanta should never have been allowed to go 2-0 up. They should never allow Manchester United to come back. And United, instead of being honest about it and talking about it as a negative, a positive in a win, a negative in everything else, they haven't done that. He hasn't done that. Ollie never done that.
I mean, I think you do have to question the manager, because when you look at the team that starts today, I mean, Liverpool, we know they're in the better form, and we know that the front three have been absolutely outstanding, whether it's Jota or Mane. But, you know, it's not a bad United team. He's got Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, regulars for England, European Championship finalists. He's got Mason Greenwood, one of the best young talents in English football. He's got Bruno Fernandes, whose record speaks for himself. He's got Cristiano Ronaldo, who many would say is the best player of all time. He's got Marcus Rashford, who is, again, an absolutely outstanding young striker. Paul Pogba is on the bench. Jesse Lingard is on the bench. Edinson Cavani is on the bench. This is not surely a team that somebody could turn into something a lot better than this.
I think you're right in certain ways, but I still don't think the ingredients, if I was looking at it and that was in a cookery book and everything, the ingredients still wouldn't be good enough to make anything that's going to...
But surely they could be blended better than they are at the moment.
Definitely at this moment in time.
Soggy pudding.
At the moment, there's oil and waters that would actually get together better than what this team is at this moment in time. There's nothing there. I look at the bench and I'm seeing Michael Carrick there, and I'm seeing the other fella Kieran somebody, and I'm saying to myself, I'm not seeing any personalities there. I'm not seeing anybody I look at and say, oh, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Just look at coaches now, because people do look at coaches. In my time, it was all about the players and the manager, not coaches. You look at it now, and it's just not good enough. You want someone there who has got a bit of substance about him. And those two haven't got it.
No, the players don't look inspired. That's what I'm saying. I think there are very talented players. But, I mean, when you look at Liverpool and the way they play and the way Klopp has got them going, obviously Guardiola at City and Tuchel at Chelsea, we said it earlier, those three teams, they're streets above United, aren't they? It's streets above.
Yeah, that's true, and they can lose a game of football, but you can still see something there.
Yes.
You know there's something there. It's just been a bad day at the office. United, lucky enough, have had bad days at the office, but they've won a few games. But when it's really mattered and they've gone into the big games, they've got a few wins out of them, but they're just hanging in there. Yeah. They're just getting by on individual brilliance in the end.
Well, here's Firmino tussling with McTominay. McTominay's won that battle, but Firmino battles back a free kick, which is quickly taken by Fred, who finds Fernandes. It might have been better for Fred maybe to wait a bit. He's got it back in midfield, and Maguire has it. The one thing we don't really get is a lot of anti-Solskjaer feeling from the United fans. Here's Rashford, edge of the area. It's Shaw out wide, poor ball, and Liverpool will clear easily. We're in the last minute of the 45. Mo Salah now has 13 goals in 13 games in all competitions this season. As I mentioned, is 8th in the Premier League. Here's Rashford. It's a good run. He gets to the byline, but he can't find Ronaldo, and Curtis Jones did well to nip in there and nick it away. That was a bit better from United. Rashford, a lot more positive than before. Clever dummy though on the counter from Salah, and this is where Manchester United could suffer. Curtis Jones has it in midfield. He finds Diogo Jota. Jota driven a little bit wide, has a look up and slips it through to Robertson, who cuts it back, and it just evades Salah, and then Fernandes finds Rashford, and we go into the stoppage time period. They've only got a minute, I think, but here's Greenwood. A goal would be something. Ronaldo denied by Alisson. Ronaldo made a good run. And hang on, he's kicked Curtis Jones. Ronaldo's in trouble here, surely. He lost the ball, he kicked out at Curtis Jones. He could go.
That wasn't good.
This could be a big decision for the referee, Anthony Taylor. He's an experienced ref, and I think Ronaldo should be sent off. There was a tangle of legs between Curtis Jones, who didn't do an awful lot wrong. I don't think the Liverpool substitute.
He did nothing wrong.
And Ronaldo has kicked out, and Anthony Taylor is walking towards Ronaldo. Could this be about to get worse?
He's always taking
it's a yellow. I think he's lucky.
He's so lucky.
The Liverpool fans are booing.
So lucky.
This is something we haven't quite seen a replay of. We're going to see one now, Paul.
Ooh.
Oh, he swung up.
Yeah,
oh, and
ooh.
he's kicked him. He should go. It's ridiculous. How is he not sent off for that? The first challenge was clumsy, and then he kicked it. Well, he's kicked. I suppose he's kicked the ball.
Yeah, but still, it makes no difference.
Yeah, it's aggressive.
Yes.
He hasn't actually kicked. To be fair, he's actually kicked the ball, which was squashed under Jones's body. So from the angle we initially saw it, maybe it looked worse, but it was silly and unnecessarily aggressive from Ronaldo. Jordan Henderson is talking to Anthony Taylor. VAR does not appear to have got involved, which they can for a potential red card. And Anthony Taylor has gone for yellow. Debatable, I would say. That was one of those ones where some referees might have given a red card for the level of aggression.
I think the fourth official would have done.
Well, the fourth official today is Mike Dean. Yeah, he probably would have done. Yeah, fair point. But I think Ronaldo's lucky. Oh, and now that's a high challenge from Fred on Jota.
We've seen
and that's
people
going to be a yellow
that.
card as well. I wouldn't say potentially a sending off there. I think it was just a little bit rash and clumsy, but certainly it was worth a yellow.
But if we're going back and we're looking at situations, Griezmann's sending off.
Yeah.
He weren't going to kick the ball, he was going to control it on the top of his foot, and he gets sent off.
Yeah, no, I take your point.
So I'm not saying I want that, because Fred never meant that, he's just clumsy.
That, of course, was in Liverpool's game against Atletico Madrid. You're right, he didn't actually Keita's down, there didn't seem to be too much contact. But United, are they losing the plot, Paul, though? Because we've got Ronaldo with petulance and Fred with over-aggression. Is this just simply they are utterly embarrassed and they are reacting badly to that situation?
Yeah, they're playing poor, they're embarrassed, they're 3-0 down, mistakes all over the place, people passing the buck. And to be honest, if you've been in the game a long time, you're out of it now and you're looking at this, all been there in this situation at some point. I've definitely been there in games like this and all I want to do sometimes, I want it over and done with as quick as possible, because you can't see a recovery. You just don't believe you can change it. Liverpool are too far in control of the game. The moment you go and chase it, they'll just go and they'll bypass you, and all of a sudden you're out of the game and you're leaving your team in limbo because you've gone charging forward because you've lost your composure in the game.
Effia Lydia has tweeted a picture of Cristiano Ronaldo on his haunches with his hands on his knees and his head bowed with the simple tweet, "It's not good enough." Certainly not good enough for Manchester United. They've been totally outplayed. Here's Firmino finding Robertson. Is Firmino going to make it worse? Salah! It's 4! Stoppage time at the end of the first half. Mo Salah's got his second and Liverpool's fourth. And Manchester United are being utterly humiliated at Old Trafford. This is more like Chelsea against Norwich than Manchester United against Liverpool, because it is Manchester United 0, Liverpool 4. You sound speechless.
I am.
Are you speechless?
I totally am. I used a word about 30 seconds ago about embarrassed. I need to work on my vocabulary and grammar and try and find a worse word than that, because this is, I can't find the word. It's
mortified.
It's just absolutely incredible. I didn't see United winning this game, but I thought with a bit of fight, they would maybe stay in the game and might get something. Christ, it's just this thing. Yeah. I would never believe that United were going to get beaten. Teams can score 4 against you, but teams cannot score 4 against you like this. This is horrendous.
Incredible.
Everything.
Now there are boos, and there have to be, as Solskjaer walks off. It's been an utter humiliation for Manchester United, who are trailing to goals by Naby Keita, Diogo Jota and a Mohamed Salah double. Solskjaer's making the walk of shame towards the tunnel. It has been an utter capitulation. Liverpool have been brilliant. United have been absolutely abject. At half-time, it's Manchester United 0, Liverpool 4 on Premier League Live.
From the terraces to the touchline, if you're the ultimate football fan, You need to subscribe to the Game Day podcast from TalkSport.
Oh yes! He's done it again!
It's the twice-weekly Premier League roundup that brings you big-name guests, in-depth previews and tough-tackling analysis from the world's biggest football league.
Oh, what a finish! He's beaten the keeper to it!
Feel the might of the top flight. Subscribe now to the Game Day podcast. Available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get bowled over with Following On, the fast-paced cricket podcast from TalkSport that'll hit you for six. It's a pitch-perfect delivery of first-class cricket news.
And that's a beautiful straight drive.
Boasting an impressive strike rate of exclusive big-name guests.
Oh, you little ripper!
And fielding fierce fan reaction.
Oh, that might be out.
Don't get caught out. Subscribe now to the Following On podcast. Available on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
That is how bad United have been, and that has been the measure of the gulf between the two sides. So it's just to remind you, Naby Keita put United ahead. Diogo Jota got the second, then a double from Salah. This is how the goals went in. The ball is forward to Salah, who looks suspiciously offside, but here's Keita, and he's scored. And Liverpool, with their first attack, have put the ball into the United net. It might be checked because Salah looked as if he might have been a yard offside, but he's played in Naby Keita, whose finish was calm and composed, and within 5 minutes Liverpool have the lead.
Luke Shaw has not stepped up with his centre half. He has hung behind. He's been a little bit lazy, maybe a little bit in awe of who's around him, so he's panicked and dropped back, and he couldn't deal with it.
Ball clipped forward towards Jota. Maguire gets in a bit of a tangle. Naby Keita wins the ball. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's a tap in for Jota, and it's 2-0 Liverpool. And that all started with an error by Harry Maguire on the edge of his own penalty area. Keita, who got the first goal, won the ball, found Trent Alexander-Arnold. His ball across goal, and Diogo Jota was quicker to react than anyone else, has jammed the ball into the roof of the net, and after 30 13 minutes. It's Manchester United 0, Liverpool 2.
That is absolutely shocking, that was. I don't know what Luke Shaw is doing. Lack of communication. 2-0 down, deserve to be 2-0 down.
Yeah, they do. That was horrendous defending. Rashford, what's he done there? Marcus Rashford. Here's Salah, tight angle, and De Gea rescues him. What on earth was Marcus Rashford doing there?
That was almost reminiscent of Raheem Sterling.
For England,
yeah, Raheem Sterling did that against Germany and gave the ball to Thomas Muller.
That's right. Yes, he did. Yeah. Now Keita back to Firmino once more. Now Salah, little back heel into Firmino. This is wonderful football from Liverpool. Salah can't quite finish it. Keita might. Salah! 3-0. He scored again. 10 consecutive matches for Mo Salah, and given that it's against Manchester United, that particular goal will probably mean more than most. Here's Firmino finding Robertson. Is Firmino going to make it? Well, Salah! It's 4. Stoppage time at the end of the first half. Mo Salah's got his second and Liverpool's 4th. And Manchester United are being utterly humiliated at Old Trafford. This is more like Chelsea against Norwich than Well, that's not really an understatement or an overstatement, is it? I mean, Paul, where does this rank on the worst you've seen United?
For me, this is number 1.
Yeah.
I mean, you can concede goals. I mean, they conceded, I think, 6 in the end against Tottenham, didn't they? Was that right, at Old Trafford?
Yep.
Yeah, they conceded. But the performance, the scoreline flattered Tottenham because of the sending off, which was caused by a Tottenham player, by the way. The sending off made a difference in that one. This is just the fact of just poor everything. I'm not going to say about the way I'm just going to say attitude. Everything is totally wrong with this, what's going on that pitch today. And yes, the answer, I think everyone's thinking, you have to look at the manager. You have to look how things are, and you have to blame him. But players are to blame maybe even more than the manager. The only difference is that managers can go tomorrow while players are commodities. So they're scared to let them go. They won't sack players because of the fact of they'll have to give them all that money. They're commodities while they're on these big contracts. But they're the ones that, can you trust them again to give you 100%? Are they going to go on Twitter and say, what a bad day at the office, let's go again? Those kind of things.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of, that's the problem with all that's going on in this moment. Football isn't what it used to be, where you could trust the players give you 100%, the majority of them. Now you're wondering who's going to give you 100% in every single game. And there isn't many now.
No, I mean, certainly not many wearing a Manchester United shirt. Somebody called B at Pundy Grumpet on Twitter says, has anyone ever been sacked at half time before? How, given the dismal nature of this performance, and let's just assume that United don't come back and make it respectable, it was hard to do that. Does this take the thoughts about Solskjaer's future a little bit further towards the exit door, do you think?
Of course it does. Of course it does. There's no way I could come and say anything here that would try and convince anybody, let alone convince myself that it wouldn't. If he was my next door neighbour, I'd have to say the truth. That the fact of he's got closer to maybe losing his job, and he would know that himself. He'll be totally naive if he didn't believe that as he's walking off at half time, and all those people was giving him so much adulation are now kind of like virtually giving him jip and saying things to him. They're not going to be volatile, they're not going to be aggressive and nasty with him, because they still respect him and love him. But all they're doing really is they're showing the feelings of being brutally honest, is that they're saying, no, this can't go on, this is it now.
Yeah, it's no place for sentiment, is it? You said to me off air at half time, and I'm glad you said it, it's like watching Liverpool playing Watford last week. No difference, really.
No, exactly right. And Liverpool could have had more. The scoreline, in certain ways, helped Watford. Didn't look as bad as it was. No different to Man United at half-time. No difference at all. If they come out and say, well, that's it, that's all they could have scored for, I'll turn around and say they're lying, because they could have had more. if they really pushed it, they could have had more.
Yeah, I mean, Manchester United clearly are going to be the story here, and understandably so because of the Solskjaer situation. But we do have to play tribute to Liverpool. United, as appalling as they've been, Liverpool have been excellent and ruthless, haven't they?
They certainly have been excellent. They have shifted the ball around. They've isolated players, put them in one-against-one situations, and Liverpool have got players who can glide past people one-against-ones. Their movement, their defending's been good. When they get the ball at the back, they get it into midfield quick. Everything what they do is what Manchester United used to be and want to be again. They're not doing it no more. They're just very lacklustre. There's no cohesion from the defence into the midfield and from the midfield to the forward line. It's all panic football, random little shots from 25, 30 yards. It's got to get better. It's only going to get better with maybe a change of personnel and maybe a manager with more experience dealing with higher level players, and maybe be able to deal with them better than maybe Ollie can, because I've always said that I think Ollie is too much sentiment with him, and a great manager of Manchester United said to me once, or said it around us, saying you can't bring sentiment into making decisions because otherwise it will cost you your job.
Spot on. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's last game, particularly if Liverpool continue in the vein that they did in the first half. We'll be back with the whole of the second half live in just a moment on Premier League Live.
Got an unquenchable thirst for sport? Get up to speed with the day's biggest sports stories with the Talk Sport Hit. Crammed full of the latest team news, big match previews, and discussing the day's hottest topics.
An improvement week in, week out.
Plus, get all the latest results and full fan reaction to the biggest events in world sport.
It's a wonderful goal!
Satisfy your thirst for sports news with the Talk Sport Hit. Subscribe now on Acast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Talk Sport. 20 years old and still not able to make a cup of tea.
That's a great starting point, I think.
Excuse me. With bitter experience comes great responsibility.
That's good.
Of Manchester United against Liverpool from Old Trafford. I'm your host, John Anderson. Alongside me is the former Manchester United and England fullback, Paul Parker. This is Premier League Live. The illuminated scoreboard at Old Trafford reads Manchester United 0, Liverpool 4. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's response to that has been to bring on Paul Pogba for the second half. It's surely a lost cause, but what United must do with the remaining 45 minutes is just show a little bit of application, a little bit of passion, a little bit of belief, and anything really to lift the crowd at Old Trafford, who will have been stunned in the queue for teas, coffees and beers at half-time. Now, Bruno Fernandes has gone in on Curtis Jones. Studs up there, and again it's going to be only a yellow card from referee Anthony Taylor, who brandished a yellow card to Cristiano Ronaldo when many thought a red might have been more appropriate. That wasn't a good challenge by Fernandes, was it?
No, it certainly wasn't. I thought it was. I thought he did get the ball, because the ball's really shot off, and I thought he must have got it. But I'll tell you what, he's got the left ankle first and followed through, pushing the left foot into the ball.
Free kick to Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold into the United box. There's a glancing header there from Firmino, which might have dropped for Virgil van Dijk, but it didn't quite in the end. But Liverpool already putting pressure on David De Gea's goal. De Gea actually wearing all yellow, so he's probably the only blameless player in the United team, because he hasn't had a chance with any of the goals. Most of them have been the result of mishaps by defenders, and he hasn't had really an opportunity to save any of them.
The thing I'm looking at now, I was trying to figure out who's come off.
Is it Greenwood?
It's Greenwood, which I'm really surprised about, because Greenwood, he was their best attacking player.
Well, does that tell you that the manager hasn't spotted the right decision? Because I'm surprised as well. Why are McTominay and Fred still on? I mean, they're losing 4-0, so that defensive shield hasn't done its job at all. You can't argue that, oh, well, we don't want to concede anymore. You've already conceded 4. What the crowd want from United is a bit of response.
Yeah, but then I look at it as well, it's again a little bit of sentiment and maybe a little bit of pressure from above that Marcus Rashford has to play.
Yeah, here's Curtis Jones. He's made a mess of that. Let me take you through the two teams. Both have made a substitution. Liverpool in the first half, Manchester United at half-time. They have De Gea in goal. The back four is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, none of whom have covered themselves in any glory. Across midfield, Scott McTominay and Fred. Then it's Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford and Paul Pogba. Up front, Cristiano Ronaldo, who's had a very, very quiet game and might have been sent off for a petulant kick-out but wasn't. Liverpool have Alisson in goal. The back four is Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ibrahima Konate, who's done well, preferred to Joel Matip, Virgil van Dijk and Andrew Robertson. Curtis Jones is on for the injured James Milner, who had to come off in the first half alongside Jordan Henderson and Naby Keita, while Diogo Jota, Roberto Firmino and Mo Salah are the three front men. We've had 3.5 minutes of the second half. Bruno Fernandes is down on the deck. We've had some good tweets. I'm sorry I can't read all of them out. We were talking about praise for Liverpool. Ni Ankara says an amazing display from the best team in the world at the moment. Breathtaking first half. I think we're in for a 7-goal thrashing. Come on, you Reds. That's the Reds of Liverpool, of course. Well, you wouldn't bet against it. If it carries on like the first half did, they will get 6 or 7, won't they? Here's Henderson. That's a brilliant ball. Mo Salah's on a hat-trick, and he gets it. It's 5, and Salah's got 3. Oh my goodness me! Less than 5 minutes gone in the second half. It was a wonderful, wonderful through ball by Jordan Henderson. Once again, the Manchester United defence was absent without leave. And when Mo Salah is bearing down on goal, you simply know what's going to happen. What a start to the second half. Nothing has changed. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 5.
And that's the difference when you win the ball and then you look to go forward straight away. Jordan Henderson takes the ball off a laboured Paul Pogba right in the middle of the park. As he pulls it out of his body, he sees the run of Salah, plays it in between the two centre halves, and he just comes in again from the right hand side. Salah, and he scores a wonderful goal, replica of so many goals he has scored already in English football. It's ridiculous. It's absolute madness what is happening here.
Yeah.
I thought myself, you come out and what you do is you try and get a draw, and if you're lucky you might go and win the second half 1-0, as the saying goes. Now it could be more embarrassment as this goes on. The one thing that will happen though, if you've gone to the game, you might get home a little bit early if you stay to the end, because everyone would have left early.
Yeah. Dear, oh dear. Mo Salah, just to give you some of those figures, that's his 137th goal for Liverpool in 213 performances. As we said, he scored in all of the last 9 games. He's now got 7 goals against Manchester United and 5 on his last 3 appearances at Old Trafford. It's 15 for the season now, and he is outright top scorer in the Premier League. He's got 10. His nearest rival is Jamie Vardy, who's got 7. Leicester, incidentally, winners earlier today at Brentford, while West Ham beat Tottenham Hotspur by 1-0. Mikel Antonio on target again. Manchester United slumping down to 7th as a result of that West Ham win. And, well, it simply isn't going to improve. That's where they will be. And, I mean, they're outside the top 6. They're 5 goals down. We've only 7 minutes of the second half. And, I mean, you know, humiliation. Here's Fernandes trying to get the ball in. It's headed away by Van Dijk. I mean, total and utter humiliation. I mean, it's one thing to lose to Liverpool. But, you know, last week... Going on, here's Ronaldo inside the box. Can he restore a little bit of pride? Tries to step over. Ronaldo! That's a lovely goal. Well, at least he's managed to make some sort of positive reaction. It was brilliantly scored by Cristiano Ronaldo, who gets his 7th goal for Manchester United. He timed his run well. It was a through ball by Maguire, just onside. He just turned inside Trent Alexander-Arnold and Konate and bent it beautifully via the post beyond Alisson's grasp. It's surely only a consolation, but it's something. Manchester United 1, Liverpool 5.
And he scored a goal up against a weakness in his Liverpool defence. It's by Trent Alexander. Alexander-Arnold. It is him all day long.
Well, Ronaldo's got his 4th goal against Liverpool, his 3rd for Manchester United, got 1 for Real Madrid. There is a debate about
offside.
VAR.
They're giving it offside.
Oh, they haven't.
I think they have.
But this is one of those ones that wasn't supposed to be given offside because it's virtually level. Last season it would have been disallowed, and it has been disallowed this season. So, oh dear, Manchester United's day just goes from bad to worse. It's a shame because it was a brilliant goal, and I don't think that should have been given offside because they wanted to try and make it a little less forensic and maybe give the attacking player a little bit more of a, not an advantage, but give him a fair crack of the whip. Oh dear, Manchester United thought they'd got one back, they haven't, and it's still Manchester United 0, Liverpool 5. Well, some would say that Ronaldo shouldn't have been on the pitch to start with after that challenge on Jones. Here's Fred finding Shaw rolling it forward. Konate and Trent Alexander-Arnold will be both pleased to see that goal chalked off because he got past them very easily. Well, it would add insult to injury now if Liverpool score again, but they might. It's Curtis Jones! Oh, and Harry Maguire has brought his man down. Now, was he the last man? Is it going to be red?
I think no. I think it's the edge of the box, if anything. If there's a contact.
He played the ball. There was a ball slip through, and Maguire tripped the man who was trying to get on the end of it.
Oh, I can't see from this side.
Well, it was Robertson. Nice ball by it was Jota, I beg your pardon. And I thought he clipped him.
Yeah, he clipped him, but
is
he's
it
definitely
inside or outside the box? And is it a clear goal scoring opportunity?
Well, I think it was inside.
Ooh. It's a yellow card for Harry Maguire.
He actually got the ball, by the way. He did get the ball.
And it's just outside the penalty area, so... Well, the referee's had quite a busy time, and he's been lenient, I suppose, to some degrees, because Fernandes made a nasty challenge at the start of the half, which was
But
yellow, not a red.
I'm saying to you though, if that ball gets to him, then he's going to have a stride and he's going to strike it, Jota.
Yeah, well,
so he's last man.
Well, in that case, it should be a red because he's denied a clear goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, Jota would have definitely been goal side with only De Gea to beat.
Yeah.
Now, if that isn't a goal-scoring opportunity, I don't know what is. But I mean, maybe Anthony Taylor thought that De Gea would make a great save, which might have happened, but it's hardly the point. Anyway, 10 minutes gone in the second period, and Liverpool have a free kick, almost touching the edge of the penalty area. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mohamed Salah, both of whom are experts from this sort of situation. Salah's already got 3. The wall is
not very good. I'm looking at the keeper's left.
Strong. It's going to be Salah to strike. It was clever. Trent Alexander-Arnold touched it to him and he shot. Back in it comes from Liverpool. And it's a corner only. Salah just received the flick from Trent Alexander-Arnold, tried to bend it low, and the wall did its job, but Liverpool have a corner, and you just can't see this torrent of goals abating, because every time Liverpool get anywhere near United's area, it looks like a chance. Here's the corner, headed away by Ronaldo, and then Fred cushions it into Fernandes. Fernandes tries to release Rashford, the ball looks too long, and Alisson, goodness me, that's calmness personified. A goalkeeper midway into his own half has just controlled it on his knee, and Liverpool will come again, and it's a chance for Firmino on the far side, picks up the ball from Robertson, shadowed at the moment by Wan-Bissaka, gets to the byline, there's the cross, it's easy for David De Gea, but Liverpool just look absolutely irresistible at the moment, and United simply don't have any answer to it.
They really needed that goal to have been given to them, just to give them something, just to believe that they can at least maybe get a couple more or something before the game runs out. But for it to be taken away now, taken away from them, it's very difficult for them to get any momentum now, while Liverpool are now just managing the game out now. They'll only just they'll only look to go and score if United give them the ball in those kind of areas, like what happened with Pogba when he gets caught on the halfway line by Jordan Henderson. Those situations, counter-attacks.
Yeah. Kev Hope has sent us a gif of Rowan Atkinson's Mr. Bean character waving with the caption "Goodbye Ole." Kwame Agye says Manchester United might as well forfeit the Manchester derby. That's coming up in a couple of weeks after the international break. Here come United with Fernandes. It's away by Konate, and then sliced up into the heavens by Jones. United come away with it with Fernandes. Here's Fernandes riding one challenge, finding Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka's cross just cannons off Robertson and goes for a corner. 58 minutes gone, and the corner's taken short and wasted completely. But now what's happened there? Pogba's gone in strongly. It's another yellow card. That's United's 5th of the game, and Pogba is the latest recipient. It was a pretty crude challenge on the edge of the area. I mean, the one other thing you'd have to say about Manchester, he's gone in. The thing is the way he's gone in, he's leapt in, his studs are up, you know. That could easily be a red card, and not a yellow. United, I would say, not only have they been hopeless, humiliated, they have been ill-disciplined, haven't they, today? They've lost it, haven't they?
Yeah, they definitely have. They definitely have
Shocking.
lost their composure. I mean, that's come about because Pogba fell asleep. He's taken a short corner.
Oh, hang on, he's going to have a look, you know.
He's taken a short corner, he fell asleep. That means he'll change his mind.
Well,
every time
the VAR has said to Anthony Taylor, go and have a look. I mean, my feeling is that's a red card.
He'll give the red card. That happened yesterday when I was at Crystal Palace.
I think it is a red card because he's gone in off the ground with his studs showing you can't do it. It doesn't matter whether you win the ball. You cannot go. Look at that. We've got a still frame of it. He's made contact with Keita's ankle. It's a dangerous studs up flying challenge. Surely he has to go. We're seeing it over and over again. Anthony Taylor is still scrutinising it. He's not yet turned away. He has now.
He's changed it. That's it. He's changed his mind.
Well, yeah, correct decision. He's brought out the yellow. He's waved his arms to negate that, and he has produced the red. And Paul Pogba has been sent off. Well, what a shambles. He brings him on at half-time to try and just regain a bit of momentum, a bit of composure, save his face a little bit, and in 15 minutes Paul Pogba has been red carded for Manchester United. It's going to be followed by a suspension as well. He was on a yellow card anyway, Pogba, but he's now got a red, so he'll miss the game against Tottenham. And I mean, this is just unacceptable, isn't it? Keita is still down. United fans are leaving. They've had enough. Half an hour to go. They are walking towards the exits. This has been one of the most dismal performances I've ever seen from them at Old Trafford. He's going to bring on Cavani and Diogo Dalot. It's not going to make a jot of difference because, oh dear, the stretcher's out. The stretcher's out for Naby Keita. And Pogba, well, he's got a red card, but he might have seriously injured an opponent. And this is a sad sight because Keita got the ball rolling for Liverpool with that opening goal. He's going to be replaced by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. So we're going to have a flurry of substitutions with 2 for United and 1 for Liverpool. Cavani comes on. He hasn't yet scored this season, and he's never scored in 7 appearances for various clubs against Liverpool in domestic and European competition. Bruno Fernandes is making his way off, and Dalot is about to come on as well for Manchester United. Rashford is withdrawn. I mean, it's beginning to become hard, Paul, to describe how horrendous this has all been. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson's in the crowd. What on earth is he thinking as Naby Keita sadly is stretchered off with his legs strapped? It was a horrible challenge by Pogba. He deserved a red card, and Keita has got his hand over his face as he goes off. That is a very sad sight. And we mentioned the word ill-discipline from Manchester United, and it's resulted in a fellow professional being stretchered off. Shocking.
It is an absolute shambles, everything that's just happened, and it's just, in fact, each challenge like that because he switched off. He should have been on to that. The ball's been given back to him. He's played a short one to Fernandes. Fernandes has given it back to him, pulled it back to him off the byline for him to run in. He has taken his eye off the ball, eye off the game, to be honest, really. Fallen asleep. He's reacted late. Instead of accepting it and getting in a defensive position goal side, he's decided to attack the ball straight away, overstretching. It was never in his favour, and yes, he's got a red card, and for him to have maybe, the legs being strapped together is not a good sign, not a good sign at all. I haven't seen that in quite a while, to be perfectly honest, but
it's difficult to tell, but
might be pure precaution. They've gone and done that way, but still not good. Even they might be overemphasising the fact it's not good that they've gone and done that.
But this is precisely why that is deemed as a sending off offence. Happily, 9 times out of 10 the player gets up and is fine, but sometimes, unfortunately, if you are that reckless, you are endangering another player, and that's what's happened there, and that's exactly why that rule has been brought in. And once you're off the ground with your stuff, you've got no control of what your body's doing. You've only got to mistime it by a split second, and somebody's broken their leg or ruptured their ankle.
And the thing
something
that people have got to understand as well, it makes no difference that you've hit the ball. It's the fact of it's the under control and the pace that you're going through. You're going at that time with that foot, and if he's got his foot on the floor, sorry, that is a serious injury waiting to happen.
Absolutely. And also, I mean, you could make contact with the ball and still injure the player.
Yeah, of course you could.
Ball's irrelevant. Anyway, we wish Naby Keita a speedy recovery as Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain tries to find Mo Salah. That's ended up on the roof of the net. I think there'll be quite a few neutrals, not just Liverpool fans, who will have seen that and might be secretly hoping now that Liverpool get a couple more and really force home the advantage. We've got a lovely shot of the scene outside Old Trafford, where there are literally hundreds, maybe thousands of United fans walking back down Sir Matt Busby Way to the tram stations, the bus stops, possibly the pub, because they are appalled by what they've seen. And well, it's not just been a poor performance, it's now been an ugly performance. It's been a nasty, ill-disciplined performance. They've already had 4 players yellow carded before Pogba got his red. Liverpool are now up against 10 men, and really this is a new low for United. Here's Dalot, who's just come on, tackled by Alexander-Arnold. Now, do Liverpool go for a cricket score here? Or perhaps a rugby score if you're not familiar with cricket. Here's Ronaldo, who had one chalked off. He's trying to get past Konate. He's done that. The cross is in. There's no one at all in the box other than Cavani, and he was in the wrong position. Here's McTominay, centre midfield. Long stoppage, of course. We're only up to 66 minutes, but there will be a lot added on for that injury. Here's Dalot, and that's an awful cross that's gone behind. Ironic cheers from the Liverpool fans. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got his hands deep in his pockets. He's not very emotional. He's not showing displeasure. But, I mean, if I was him, I would be severely worried that if you don't make a decision on his future now, what would it take? I mean, what could be worse than this to make you decide that Solskjaer needs to go? I mean, anyway, Liverpool are looking for more. Here's Robertson, and in it comes from Jota. That's a very poor delivery from the player who scored Liverpool's second goal from close range. It seems a long time ago now, but you know, what's it going to take if not this for Solskjaer to go? I mean, they must be in their thoughts.
Mostly in their thoughts. It could be in his fault, in his thoughts as well. You know, if he's thinking about himself and thinking about the club, as he always talked, you know, his love affair with the club, he just might decide himself. But I'll just look at it. I'm looking what's happened. I'm looking at the players, and I'm saying, I don't know how he can get any more from these players after something like this. The players just need a change up. They need a different voice. They need a different tongue. They need someone different who's actually going to put a boot maybe where the sun doesn't shine at this moment in time. Because there's too many players who are on a sunbed. Too much dead wood there. Some of them needs a massive change. And if you bring in a personality like Ronaldo, then I think in certain ways you need a manager who's got a bit of a personality as well to get the best from him.
Kwame Corinthian is with us, just relaxing on my bed, enjoying your sweet, delicious commentary. Thank you. From Tamer Khan. There's a picture there, a gif of a guy in a Man United top shaking so hard that his beer is spilling all down his Manchester United shirt. Yo Hazard says, what does he say? He's enjoying our melodious commentary here in Accra, Ghana. My friends love your 2 holding midfielders comment. I can't claim credit. That was Paul Parker. What are they holding? They're not holding on to anything at all. Keep the tweets coming. We enjoy reading them out, but it's been an eventful game and it's difficult to keep on top of them. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold in towards Jota, who couldn't quite take it into his stride, and it goes behind for a goal kick. There are also some interesting tweets from people saying, you know, that there are certain pundits, Gary Neville is among them, who have steadfastly defended Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Paul Scholes is another ex-Manchester United player who's been supportive. I mean, even they surely were going to change their tune now. Anyway, here's Robertson over on the far side, finds Jordan Henderson. Up until yesterday, 5-0 was the biggest thrashing in the Premier League this season, before Chelsea put 7 past Norwich. Liverpool, by the way, have also created an extraordinary run of, I'm trying to work out how many it is. They've scored 3 or more goals in consecutive games. It's now 10 away from home. They've scored 3 or more in 10 consecutive away games. I mean, this will be 10 in 2 already with the Watford result last week. Here's Salah, who's got a hat-trick and might want another. Good challenge, though, by Dalot, who again has run it straight into Alexander-Arnold.
I can't believe it. Dallot's just come on as a sub. He's just won the ball on the edge of his own box, and he's trying to nutmeg Alexander-Arnold in trying to go forward. Just get hold of the ball and keep the ball. I know there's only 10. Don't try and beat people on the edge of your own box by nutmegging them as a defender.
20 minutes to go. 20 minutes that a huge proportion of the Manchester United fans will not see because they've already gone. Probably ordering their first beer now. Here's Henderson, centre midfield for Liverpool, who are just stroking it around at will. Alexander Chamberlain, Trent Alexander-Arnold, magnificent save. Absolutely brilliant save by De Gea. That was flying into the top corner. Trent Alexander-Arnold cannot believe that he hasn't put Liverpool 6-0 up, and the reason is that De Gea has produced an absolutely wonderful save.
I'm going to mention his name again, Dalot. What did Ollie bring Dalot on for? I'm sure it was to defend, and he's gone at Trent Alexander like a 5-year-old kid would do if you told him to go and chase the ball. Shocking.
Corner's been taken quickly. Henderson into the box, away by Maguire. Here's Salah with just a little touch into Oxlade-Chamberlain. It cannons back off Ronaldo. A penny for his thoughts, Ronaldo. I mean, his love for the club is genuine, but I'm just beginning to wonder what on earth he's got himself embroiled in here. It certainly didn't start like this at Juventus, did it, when he left Real Madrid after that glittering career?
I think he's thinking at the moment, he's thinking of Turin and he's thinking snow on the Alps.
Liverpool are just toying with United now. They're just playing keep ball against the 10 men. Here's Curtis Jones. Van Dijk has joined this attack and plays it out wide to Jota. Now it's Jones again, back to Van Dijk. No urgency in Liverpool at all. There doesn't need to be, of course.
I'll tell you what, their urgency is a lot better than what United's supposed to be at full pelts.
Yes,
the way
true.
they're shifting the ball about and how they're progressing up the park.
Here's Jones, and now Jota. It's got Robertson out wide. This is Andrew Robertson now. Jordan Henderson centre midfield, out to Robertson again. Haven't yet got across him, but tries to find Henderson, but it's dispossessed by United. Ronaldo plays a good ball here, and Dalot is on the charge, but he's... Oh, Konate's done well again. He's had a good game. He's been surprised to see him on the starting team sheet, but he's done really well.
He has done really well, and Dalot there saw that he's quicker than him, decides he wants to outrun him. Fortunately for him, Dalot instead of defender, instead of taking the ball off and going back to his keeper, he's kicked it out for a throw-in. That's a bonus, because Dalot should have checked his stride, kept the ball, and given United a little bit of breathing space, because all they've done so far is chase Liverpool around with their possession.
And they've given it away again. And here's Jota driving forward. He tries to clip it back in towards Salah, but Dalot has tidied up. And United once again have lost possession. And here's Jota, and it's forward to Salah. It's a little bit too far in front of him, but he's inside the box nonetheless. He's got 2 to try and find, one of whom is Firmino. And Scott McTominay just about got back in time to hook the ball away. But once again, it was United presenting possession to Liverpool.
It was, and I'm going to say it's Dalot. Dallot's got the ball, and he tries to be clever again. Ollie's brought him on to come in there just to try and give a bit of security, some energy, some new blood, fresh legs, everything you can think of. Why you bring someone on as a sub? He has gone against the grain totally. I'm sure Ollie must be thinking, I want to take him off because he's costing me. Absolutely been a liability since he has come on the park.
Well, the wagons are circling around him, certainly from our Manchester United supporting listeners. Chris is coming, repent, that's Stevenson, Mick 14. Ole is the most useless coach in the world, listening in Accra, Ghana. Flyboy Sagball says there's nothing wrong with the United squad. We have a squad that's as good as any in the top 4. It's the coach that's not good. It's what Ole does. The board don't seem to see it. That's a good appraisal of the situation. I think things might change. Liverpool, to be fair, are not really showing any great desire at the moment to add to their 5 goals. They don't really need to, in all honesty. I think it's going to restore them as increased their goal difference considerably, which is always helpful. Liverpool have now scored 27 goals this season and have gone above Chelsea, who yesterday with 7 need to be worried about. As I say, they will stay 7th as a result of this debacle. 15 minutes remain. Poseidon Maximus from Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Ronaldo moving to United was a total publicity stunt. He's changed the entire dynamic of the United squad. Last year United lost 4-2 to Liverpool on this same ground, but with Ronaldo United has been humiliated. Is that fair?
I would say on that side, the way that was delivered, no, it's not fair. But I will say that with Cavani through the middle, there was more movement, there was more things going on in that front line than what there is now. Everything now is regarding Ronaldo. The way they haven't changed the way they want to play. They're playing in the same way as if Cavani was playing. And if they were going to play Ronaldo, you've got to get the ball wide and you've got to keep delivering it. Keep delivering in the box. And they're not doing that. They're dragging him out into midfield, and he's not any good there. Not there. So he's changed the dynamics of the team, and the team as an attacking force has gone backwards. And if they're not attacking, they're nowhere near good enough as a defensive force, and that's why they're conceding so many goals. Not just against Liverpool, in general, they are conceding goals.
Sadio Mane has come on for Liverpool. He'll want a goal, having recently notched up 100 for or in the Premier League, the vast majority of them for his current team. He got a few for Southampton as well before that. 13 minutes to go. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 5. The 10 men just involved in a damage limitation exercise at the moment. Liverpool have had 87% of the possession in the last 10 minutes, and they are just knocking it about at will. And well, it's ended as not even in the contest, it might have ended as a kind of how many can Liverpool get, because they're conserving energy. You can't blame them. They've got a League Cup game coming up in midweek against Preston North End from the Championship at Deepdale. Then they face Brighton in the league, and after that the return fixture against Atletico Madrid after that splendid win in the Spanish capital in midweek. Manchester United's tasks are big. Spurs is next, then Atalanta in the Champions League, and then the derby against Manchester City. And I mean, if Liverpool can get 5, Manchester City aren't too far behind, are they? I mean, if they, that might be the point where Solskjaer, I mean, if they end up losing 5-0 at home to City as well, then that surely would be curtains.
But they're more dynamic inside that box as well, City, than what Liverpool have been. Yeah. Liverpool start their play a little bit early up and play with a lot of pace and space in behind, but City are completely different. And Ollie has had a little bit of a good time against City of late, so maybe it could be sitting there thinking he might get that. But it's not about these big games, it's the other games that United are still having problems with as well. It isn't because they can't beat the big clubs as such, or the clubs that is meant to be as big as them. It's the other ones like the Evertons and the Aston Villas.
Yeah. Well, they look like at the moment they look worse than that, but at United all season really don't look much like a top 4 team. They haven't particularly. More tweets here. Seyram Suarez listening on City FM in Accra in Ghana. With my son, we're screaming together. Superb from Liverpool, but please tell Klopp to score only 6. We don't want Ole sacked, but 7 goals would be managerial sacking mode. There are a lot of Liverpool fans actually tweeting that they want Solskjaer to carry on. But I mean, all the noise you can hear inside at Old Trafford is coming from the visitors from Merseyside, as you'd expect.
Only because they can't get out of the stadium.
Personal quest for goals, he's got 6. Firmino, of course, got a hat-trick last weekend. It's a Mo Salah hat-trick this weekend. 10 goals in 2 away games within 8 days for Liverpool. So it's not as if I'm sidetracking and you're avoiding any action, but here's Henderson with a long ball forward and tries to find Mane. Mane thinks about a shot, He does shoot it. It's deflected upwards by Maguire and then headed away by Dalot. and Ronaldo's nodded it straight back into the path of Curtis Jones. Poor header by him. Here's Robertson on the overlap. The cross takes a deflection. United dithered. Salah almost got there, but in the end a toe poke from Shaw up in the air is claimed by David De Gea. Am I right? He's the only blameless player in this performance, isn't he? De Gea?
Yeah.
He's made one superlative save, but I mean, he's not done anything particularly wrong.
No, not at all, really. Just going back to saying earlier with Mane, you saw Mane there having the ball. There's the big difference between him and Salah.
Yeah.
He could have passed that ball to his right or to Curtis Jones' left. He decided to shoot through a crowd of players.
Yes.
Curtis Jones has gone mad at him.
Yeah.
That's the difference between the two of them.
Yeah. Salah are relatively happy if they lose 3-1, but they score.
Yeah,
and that isn't the way it should be. I'm sure you've come across people like that.
I'll tell you who's like that as well. You think of how many goals Messi could have had if he'd actually kept the ball himself rather than giving it to people.
Yeah.
You think how many could have had? We've seen it so many times with Messi. Just gives the ball to someone else.
Yeah. I mean, this is the mark of greatness, isn't it? It's doing exactly the right thing all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked to kids, young people learning the game, and said, watch Messi. Messi doesn't always do spectacular stuff. Messi doesn't mind playing a 5-yard square ball if that's the right thing to do, if that's going to help his team. And that's the way to play the game. Anyway, the lovely close-up shot of a young United fan with the most miserable look on his face you could possibly imagine. He looked 4 or 5.
He'll learn from this, by the way.
It's not his first game.
Yeah. He will learn from it by coming in and saying this.
He will. Here's a free kick to Manchester United. It's very deep. It's a free header for McTominay, and then Cavani hits the bar somehow. I don't know how he's managed to fail to put the ball into the net. He's looking at the ground. McTominay was completely unmarked as he peeled away following the free kick. Possible offside. I think Cavani was offside, and he'll be glad he was offside because I don't quite know how he missed it. It's not been given. It's a corner which is headed away by Robertson. Fred is hassled and harried by Firmino. In come the ball again, and there are 2 United players, Cavani and Ronaldo, both miles offside, so they ignored the ball. Trent Alexander's almost gives it away, but then Fred gives it straight back to Liverpool.
Well, just going back to that one there with McTominay. McTominay was trying to head that at goal, by the way. He tried to head that at goal, and I think maybe in a certain way Cavani got a little bit caught out because he's actually got it with his left foot, but the ball was behind him. McTominay, he was rubbing his head. He could not believe that he was going to miss the target. He was like 4 yards from goal at the back post.
Yeah,
shocking header.
Yeah, it was. George Templeton. Liverpool are a team, and United are a collection of players that happen to wear the same shirt. Ole should be embarrassed. I don't think that's untrue. I think that's certainly been borne out today. I mean, you're an ex-pro. Is it worse losing heavily to a team that you're rivals with as opposed to anyone else?
Yeah.
Does it hurt the players more? I know obviously it hurts the fans more. Does it hurt the players more?
I can't speak about the players of today, but I'll say in my time it definitely would, because we'd think, especially for me when I moved north and I realised that the game is a little bit different up north compared to being in and around London, because it affects the town, the city. But yes, you'd be hurting. I wouldn't walk. We'd lose a game. I wouldn't really try and do too much socially. And if you lost a game of this magnitude, you wouldn't go out. You've got no reason to be out anywhere. You'll sit indoors.
Oxlade-Chamberlain lets fly off his left foot from long distance as the rain starts to come down symbolically at Old Trafford to illustrate a very, very gloomy day. Actually, we've just seen a replay of that Cavani incident, and it was Andy Robertson's thigh that took the ball onto the crossbar, so Cavani didn't really get a proper touch, and it was well defended actually by Robertson.
What do you mean by what? From his thigh to the crossbar? That's a skill in its own, isn't it?
Well, he's prevented a goal, because if he hadn't been there, I'm sure Cavani would have scored, and he's kind of somehow managed to scrape it away. I mean, Jurgen Klopp will be pleased with a clean sheet as much as anything else, I'm sure. Here's Curtis Jones. Can they seal the win in style? Well, that's a late one, and that's Wan-Bissaka on Jota. He's now going to get a yellow card. 5 yellow cards, and hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow cards and a red for Manchester United. Pogba sent off. Wan-Bissaka, the latest to go into Anthony Taylor's rather crowded notebook. Liverpool will hope this isn't another bad injury, because of course they lost Naby Keita, and
to be honest, I would have given Wan-Bissaka a yellow card when he came on the pitch wearing gloves.
yeah, I said that earlier, didn't I? He's wearing gloves on a fairly mild, well, very mild for this time of year. To be fair, though, I think some players just feel uncomfortable. I remember John Barnes. Yeah, no, well, you not having it? Did you never?
No, Barnes, he was different. Barnes, he come from a hot country.
Jamaica.
Yeah, but Wan-Bissaka, he's a South London boy. Sir Alex hated us wearing them in training.
Really?
He said, because what you do, you get them, you wear them 5 minutes, you throw them on the floor, and Norman Davis, the kit manager, has to pick them up. He told Norman not to pick them up anymore, leave them on the floor, and then, because they had our numbers on them, our training number, he'll send us out there and go and pick them up.
Quite right too.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I just don't get it. It's not that cold.
Oxlade-Chamberlain for Liverpool switches it to the near side. Mohamed Salah controls it and then plays a nice little reverse pass to Trent Alexander-Arnold, but again it's walking pace for Liverpool. He knocks it into the midfield area where Jordan Henderson clips it away. It's controlled and blocked on the edge of the box by Edinson Cavani, and then Shaw gets the ball forward. Fred gets a touch and finds Dalot. Dalot, arguably for the first time, has actually passed it to one of his teammates, but then Ronaldo, of all people, has played an absolutely shocking ball away to the far side of the pitch, which has bounced and gone out of play.
I was saying that in his defence, he was expecting straight away, he's got the ball there, he was expecting Wan-Bissaka to be already seeing that space and making a run into it, not waiting for the ball to be there and then run. That's the reason why he played that ball like that.
Here's Ronaldo coming forward now for Manchester United and finding Cavani. Cavani just touches it back to McTominay. Now it's Fred. Fred, edge of the box. Poor ball. It's gone behind Cavani. He will keep it in on that far side, but the flag has gone up to signal an offside.
Shaking his head, Cavani. He's not happy with Fred at all.
Lasting 2 seasons. I mean, Manchester United are a club that sets standards. I mean, you help them develop that. I mean, this is just not acceptable, is it, from a club of this stature? I mean, if you're Burnley and Watford or Norwich and you come here, you face Liverpool and you lose by 5 goals to 0, you think, well, okay, we don't have anything near the history, the clout, the money, the backing, the support. United do, and yet they've looked like Norwich, haven't they, today? They've looked like Watford. It sounds ridiculous, but it's true.
It has been like that, to be honest, really.
And Liverpool are just walking the ball around now. We're in the final minute of the 90. And I mean, if it was a cricket match, I don't know how many cricket lovers we have listening. Basically, Liverpool have declared, haven't they? Which means they don't need to carry on because they've already got enough goals on the scoreboard, so they don't need to add to it.
They've gone in for lunch and eaten sandwiches and got the sandwiches, and they've got them in their pockets, and they're eating sandwiches and they're playing the game.
They used to say having cigars, didn't they? They got the cigars out, but of course players are not encouraged to smoke anymore, so that's a bad message. You're right. It's like they're sort of set up a trestle table and having a picnic.
Yeah, but then we're actually going to go that another because of the issues now in nutrition. They're now playing holding a bowl of pasta
and steamed fish.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Here's Salah, who will walk off the pitch with the match ball. Had a few hat tricks recently. Firmino got one against Watford last week. Josh King got one for Watford at Everton. Mason Mount got one for Chelsea. They'll run out of match balls at this rate. Here's Dalot for Manchester United. Can they get a last minute? Wouldn't even be a consolation, but it would be a goal for those who've remained in their seats. And there is, I would say, half of the United support has gone. Here's Wan-Bissaka. It's blocked and away for a corner off Diogo Jota. We're having 3 minutes of stoppage time added on at the end of this absolutely chastening experience for Manchester United, who have been battered, humiliated, outplayed. Some of them are still waving their flags, their scarves in defiance behind that goal. Here's the corner, outswinger towards McTominay, who again gets the header in, but Salah lays it off to Jordan Henderson. Suddenly Salah has found a new spring in his step and he's piling forward. It's a brilliant ball. There's a chance here. It's Curtis Jones. Can't get the shot away properly and it's blocked by Maguire. But Liverpool, I mean, they've been playing keep ball, Liverpool, for the last 15 minutes, but as soon as they put their foot on the gas, United were instantly in danger of conceding another.
Why don't you do this and really pull it in there? His answer would be, well, we've got that already, we've got enough, we played a tough game midweek as well, boys have done really well.
If someone said that to me and I was Jurgen Klopp, I would say, seriously, you're complaining about a 5-0 win against Manchester United?
Somebody will. Somebody will.
Nice shot, actually, in the dugouts of Anthony Martial wearing a hood, just with his head bowed, unable to watch almost. Dalot for United. Are they going to get a late goal? It's Ronaldo, but he didn't control it properly, and when he does shoot, Van Dijk blocks it. And Liverpool are able to clear, but here's Ronaldo again. It's a mishit volley by him. He shakes his head. I mean, in his extraordinary, illustrious career, this has got to be one of the worst performances that he's ever been part of. Look at a career, 1,086 games for Cristiano Ronaldo, 795 goals. I can't imagine he's played in too many worse performances than this one.
Well, I was trying to think, has he been involved in anything like this on the back end of something like this?
No.
And I'm having
he probably has, but that includes games for Portugal as well.
But that's what I'm saying. So it must have been in Portugal, because it wasn't at Old Trafford while he was there.
No.
It wasn't
not at Real.
Not there. There was a few kind of big ones against Barca, wasn't there?
There were. Anyway, that's the final whistle. It's been an extraordinary afternoon, a painful afternoon for Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer shakes Jurgen Klopp's hands. His future will be under scrutiny like never before, because his team were pathetic. They capitulated, they didn't compete, and they allowed this forward to Salah, who looks suspiciously offside. But here's Keita, and he's scored. And Liverpool, with their first attack, have put the ball into the United net. It might be checked, because Salah looked as if he might have been a yard offside, but he's played in Naby Keita, whose finish was calm and composed. Will clip forward towards Jota. Maguire gets in a bit of a tangle. Naby Keita wins the ball. Here's Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's a tap in for Jota, and it's 2-0 Liverpool. And that all started with an error by Harry Maguire on the edge of his own penalty area.
Lack of communication. 2-0 down, deserve to be 2-0 down.
Yeah, they do. That was horrendous defending. Now Keita back to Firmino once more. Now Salah, little back heel into Firmino. This is wonderful football from Liverpool. Salah can't quite finish it. Keita might. Salah! 3-0! He scored again! 10 consecutive matches for Mo Salah. Here's Firmino finding Robertson. Is Firmino going to make it? Well, Salah! It's 4! Stoppage time at the end of the first half. Mo Salah's got his second and Liverpool's fourth. And Manchester United are being utterly humiliated at Old Trafford. This is more like Chelsea against Norwich.
I need to work on my vocabulary and grammar and try and find a worse word than that, because this is, well, I can't find the word. It's
mortified.
It's just absolutely incredible. I didn't see United winning this game, but I thought with a bit of fight, they would maybe stay in the game and might get something.
Here's Henderson. That's a brilliant ball. Mo Salah's on a hat-trick, and he gets it. It's 5, and Salah's got 3. Oh, my goodness me. Less than 5 minutes gone in the second half.
It's absolute madness what is happening here.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I thought myself, you come out, and what you do is you try and get a draw. And if you're lucky, you might go and win the second half 1-0, as the saying goes. Now it could be more embarrassment as this goes on.
And the corner's taken short and wasted completely. But now what's happened there? Pogba's gone in strongly. It's another yellow card. Anthony Taylor is still scrutinising it. He's not yet turned away. He has now. Let's see.
That's it. He's changed his mind.
Well, yeah, correct decision. Brought out the yellow. He's waved his arms to negate that, and he has produced the red. And Paul Pogba has been sent off.